Hi there, and welcome. It's Korean time. Today we're going to learn some very useful tips for speakers of English who want to learn Korean. As you know, every language has its own unique features, and we can understand the uniqueness of Korean better by comparing and contrasting it with English. In this lesson, we'll focus especially on how the two languages are different. So, are you ready to take a look at the contrastive features of Korean and English? Ready or not, let's go. Number 1. Language family. As you can see, Korean and English come from very different families. They're almost like Romeo and Juliet, except that there's going to be a happy ending. As you can see, English is close to German, Swedish, and Dutch from the Indo-European language family. These have more things in common. Korean, however, is closer to Turkish, Uzbek, and Kazakh in the Altaic language family. Korea is in Asia, but it's not in the same language family as Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, and so on. Are you surprised? Number 2. Pronunciation. Now it's time to talk about pronunciation. Have you ever thought about the sounds that aren't in English? Well, there are also sounds in Korean that aren't in other languages. Number 1. The first sound that's only in Korean is a vowel, It's almost like the schwa sound in the, but it's a little bit different. Another difference between English and Korean sounds are the consonant sounds. Number 2. You know, in English, a word can start with either the letter P or B, and the sounds are different, as in pill and bill. The same is true for the sounds T and D, and K and G in English. However, in Korean, the same letter is used to represent the P and B sounds, and for the T and D sounds, and the K and G sounds, one letter for each sound pair. Not only that, but each of those 3 letters have 3 different forms. The regular neutral B, the double tense B, and the strong aspirated P. The same is true for the T and the G sounds in Korean. Number 3. Here's another interesting difference. Like I just said, English has different letters and sounds for the letters PB, TD, and KG. However, there's only one S. In contrast, Korean has 3 types of consonant sounds for P, T, and G, and in addition, it has 2 letters and sounds for S, the regular S and double S. I just love learning about Korean, don't you? Number 4. Like the other letters, English has 2 separate letters, R and L, as in rice and lice. But in Korean, they're combined into one. This one letter can sound different depending on where it is in the word. For example, if it's at the front of a word or the beginning of a consonant, it sounds like an R, as in 다리. But if it's at the end of the word or the end of a syllable, it sounds like an L, as in 딸. That's very interesting. Number 5. Another thing you need to know is that there are just a few possible ending sounds for words in Korean. So different letters can have the same sound. There are different groups of letters which have the same ending sounds. As you can see below, those 3 ending letter sounds are usually different. But here, they all have a T sound. English, bus, beach, bridge. Korean, 옷, not. Not all of the letters in Korean change sounds at the end of the word, just the ones you say at the end without any air coming out. Number 6. If you've ever learned English phonics, you know that there are consonant blends like TR, PR, ST, and so on at the beginning of some words, and also consonant blends like ND, MP, and ST at the end of some words as well. English, tree, print, camp. Korean doesn't do that. There can only be one consonant sound at the end of the word. If there are 2 letters there, only one gets pronounced. It's not always the first or the last letter, though. It depends on what consonants are together at the end of the word. This is something you're just going to have to memorize. Korean, 갑, 닭, 여덟. Are you following everything so far? If you know all this, you can be a Korean teacher. Number 7. Another cool thing that happens in Korean is when sounds blend together and change to make words easier to say. It's kind of like when you ask, "What's your name?" in English. You don't really say, "What's your name?" in English, do you? It sounds more like, "What's your name?" doesn't it? However, in English, we don't really blend sounds between consonants. We just say nickname and kingly. Well, in Korean, each word is distinct, but the sounds within words can change. Kind of like how Americans say water or pretty, so the T sounds like a D. But in Korean, this happens when there are 2 consonant sounds together. So, looking at the words below in Korean, it's 막내, not 막내, 정리, not 정리, and 국립, not 국립. They're a lot easier to say that way, don't you think?